This is a supplement lab from the Carolina Biological site that I wanted to also do for you guys for week 3, chapter 5, the integumentary system. So it's a little different than the PALS one that is through your textbook site. This one is a little simpler, I think, but has some very good anatomical structures and histology slides that I want to show you as well. So a little different variation. So if you give me just a few minutes, I think you will enjoy it. So no assignment due really with this one from Carolina Biological. There's no lab notebook to turn in for this one like there was in week 1, or there will be in I think that's week 4 and 6. Um, but I just wanted to do a little supplement here for you, show you some better pictures. I remember I took a histology class in graduate school, and I found it one of the most fascinating courses. It was uh, it was a mixture of beauty to me, the beauty of cells stained in color and being able to look at them under the microscope, and also just the awe of um, the the wonders of the human body and the beauty within it. So, in other words, it all began with Marcello Malpighi here, who is referred to as the founder of histology or microscopic anatomy in histology. He studied insects and frogs and sheep and eventually humans, and really opened up the world thanks to the development of the microscope, and led us through this long path of histology. And specifically today, we're going to be looking at the integumentary system. So the integumentary system, also known as your skin or to cover, has 3 main layers. You have your epidermis, okay, your dermis, and then your subcutaneous. So the epidermis is composed of your epidermal tissue, your stratified squamal epithelium. Stratified means layers, squamo means fish-like flat, and epithelial means to cover or on top. Then you have your dermis layer, which we spoke about in our other video, that is composed of your connective tissue and has your accessory organs in it, such as your sweat glands, your nerve endings, your vasculature, and so forth. When we look at the multiple layers here of the epidermis, most of the cells are going to be found here in the epidermis. Excuse me. The majority of them are what we know as keratinocytes, and this all right here is your epidermis. So let's start this time from the bottom up. You have your stratum basal layer, or known as your basement membrane. This is going to have your stem cells that are going to attach here to the dermal, or excuse me, and your additional cells that are going to attach to the dermis here. You have your melanocytes here, and you have most of your vasculature here. Then you have your stratum spineosum here. This is very similar to your basal cells, but they do not have any stem cells here in the stratum spinosum level. Then you have your stratum granulosum level, your stratum lucidium, and notice how you get further up and how the cells begin to push up and push up and push up and push up. And then eventually notice how they become more clear, they become dry, and eventually they slough off here in the stratum corneum layer. All right. So it talks here about the different layers that we just mentioned in the other video here, and that we'll just go through some of these. There again, not that you have to do this. There is no lab notebook to turn in. The main thing today was just to show you some of these interesting pictures. So The dead skin cells that are sloughed off, those are your stratum corneum. When we look at the dermal layer, also known as the true layer or known as the living layer of the skin, okay, or the reticular dermis, that's all this inner part here, okay? You have your sensory structures, we didn't really talk about the Ruffini corpuscles in the last lecture, but you have your Pacinian corpuscles, your Meissner corpuscles. These are your Merkel discs. These are your nerve endings that allow you to feel sensation and vibration and pressure and pain and temperature and all of that, and they are found throughout the papillary dermal layer of the epidermis and the dermis. The accessory structures here within the dermis, you have your sweat glands known as your sudoriferous glands. Sudorifero means sweat. They assist with temperature regulation. Your apocrine glands and your eccrine glands um, are also sweat gland, or the two types of sweat glands that are found in different parts of the body. The eccrine sweat glands specifically extrude through your pores, okay, through sweat pores, while your apocrine sweat glands are secrete through the hair follicles. Your apocrine are more associated with your pheromones, and whereas your eccrine sweat glands, your sudoriferous sweat glands here are more associated with thermal heat control. You also have your sebaceous glands, sebo meaning oil. Oil has many properties. It helps to dry the skin, helps to waterproof the skin, not waterproof, um, water resist, have the skin be water resistant, and provides that uh, protect, or excuse me, makes the skin slightly um, not necessarily acidic like the sweat gland does, but it does help with slightly changing the pH of the skin to prevent bacterial growth. And then lastly, we have the hypodermis, okay, which is your adipose tissue and these various stages of ground substance here that allow that thermoregulation of body heat and also storage of fat. Mm, you have your blood vessels. Yeah. Right. And I think that's it. I'm not going to go through the pre-lab questions here because really there's no lab notebook for you to need to finish. Um, but I wanted to kind of walk you through that so you are familiar with or have a few more pictures and diagrams along with the wonderful resources in your textbook and your dynamic study modules about the integumentary system. Okay. Email me if you have any questions.